5:20 at Ayr is our next live race, and a good race this. £28,355 to the winner. 5 run here. They go without number 3, More Mischief. Good horses on show. Valuable prize for this listed contest. And Andrea Atzini gets his first look at Ayr. Here are the runners and riders then for the Tennents British Stallion Sutds EBF Rothesay Stakes. Number 1 is Elm Grove for Billy Lee and Willie McCreary coming out of stall 2. Number 2 is Maleficent Queen, Joe Fanning, Keith Dalgleish, stall 1. 4 is Neswa, Andrea Atzini, Roger Varian. 5 is Pure Art for Fran Berry, Rafe Beckett, stall 4. And number 6 is Sophie P, PJ McDonald, Mike Smith, stall 5. Here's how they bet. Neswa 8-13, Maleficent Queen 9-2, Pure Art 6-1, Elm Grove 17-2, and Sophie P 33-1.
Here we go, looking at these fillies and mares in the paddock, and we start with the Irish Raider ridden by Billy Lee, Elm Grove.
Yeah, and produced a career best last time when demolishing a field at Clonmel in a handicap by 7 lengths over the extended mile. That proves she could handle this quicker ground better. That was only a 0-85 handicap, so clearly she's going to have to step up to beat the likes of Neswa and Maleficent Queen here on disadvantageous terms.
Stiff assignment there, so for a mark of 89 against the likes of Maleficent Queen and Neswa. For number 1 Elm Grove, from handicaps to a listed race. One mare that knows all about it though is Maleficent Queen, Ed, last year's winner.
Yeah, she did. She won the inaugural running, beating More Mischief, who's the non-runner, by a clear-cut margin. That win completed a fine timer, but she hasn't won since. She's been campaigned slightly differently this year, going up in trip, back to a mile and 2. I think she'd probably prefer softer ground, but she does seem the main danger to Neswa here.
She's been all sorts of places since winning here, including Royal Ascot. We'll talk about her a bit more later on. Joe Fanning riding. It was actually Phil Macon that drove her to victory in this corresponding race, indeed the inaugural running of this race 12 months ago. Number 3, More Mischief, is the non-runner. Neswa is the highest rated horse in the race, off a mark of 108.
She is, and she brings a very smart piece of form here when she splits Somidar and Arabian Queen over this trip in a listed race at Yarmouth. That is definitely the form. That form is definitely the pick on show here. She does have to concede race fitness to Maleficent Queen, and she's been off since running at Woodbine in October, but the Varian Yard are going well, and she holds Group 1 entries later in the summer, which shows you just how highly regarded she is.
Off a mark of 99, the Rafe Beckett trained Pure Art with Fran Berry, the final ride of his 3 race book this afternoon.
Well, she was made to work hard to win a Sandown handicap over this trip, off 84 last August, but she acquitted herself okay in 2 listed races since then. One of those behind the easy winner Laganor at Newmarket in October. She's only had the 7 starts, only 3 over this trip, which she remains unexposed over, and the Beckett Yard has certainly been going a bit better in the last month or so.
Rafe Beckett, a couple of runners here this afternoon. Pure Art, the latest of them in this listed fillies and mares mile and a quarter contest. And finally, we've just heard from Mike Smith. He was hoping for a good run from Sophie P, who's won twice, and both the wins have come here.
They have. Once won by 8 lengths over a mile at the Air Gold Cup meeting, and then when making a successful return in a race when she beat Nicholas Tier shorthead off 85. She's got plenty to find on the book, but she certainly acts well on the track, although she was sweating up markedly in the parade ring.
PJ McDonald on a treble this afternoon, and Sophie P, 2 wins at a local track. As we pick them up, live pictures now, and that is Neswa with Andrea Atzini on board, and of course never been here before. He's ridden at Musselburgh, he's ridden at Hamilton Park, but it's his very first visit for one ride, Ed, to Ayr.
Which suggests that she's very much a filly that he's keen to ride and keep the ride on. She's got entries in the Prince of Wales Stakes at Royal Ascot, and then the following month in the Pretty Polly at over in Ireland. She's a very strong market leader, considering she is back off a break of 220 days. Last seen when travelling over for Group 1 at Woodbine, which again is indicative of the fact that she's a well-regarded mare. This isn't her intended comeback, was it? I think she was meant to run in the Dahlia Stakes as well, but she's come here now. Connection's obviously keen to get her back on track with a busy summer of big prizes likely to be ahead of her, and certainly the strength behind her in the market suggests that she's expected, or fully expected, to make a winning debut.
I don't like the phrase a horse scares others away, but maybe Nezwa had scared some of the others away, because we had 10 in this race last year. We'd 15 at the initial entry, Ed, but at the 48-hour stage that we had to reopen the race, and as things stand now, we've only 5 going to post. Do you think she has scared some of them away?
Possibly. I, like you, was surprised when we hadn't had the 6 runners. It was a really good competitive race last year, and I thought we were going to have the same again, because you had a number of fillies who you would think connections would be keen to try to pinch a little bit of black type for breeding purposes, and you thought that would possibly would probably result in I thought we'd probably have a field of 8 or 9. I was surprised we only had 6. Slightly disappointed for the Air Executive, because it's a decent prize, isn't it, with 50 grand up for grabs. But Nezwa is clearly a filly who has plenty of potential. She's shown a good level of form so far, and you would have to say that run behind Somidar and ahead of when she split Somidar and Arabian Queen at Yarmouth last year is the kind of form that would win 90% of listed races. So if she reproduces that here, I think she sets a level or standard that Maleficent Queen has yet to get to.
There's only £3 between them on official ratings.
There is on official ratings, but Maleficent Queen has been campaigned more with stamina in mind this year. Ran a really good race to be second in the Queen's Cup, that new 1 mile 6 event at Mossabra, and then fared okay up to 2 miles at Ascot last time in the Cigara, I think it was.
Forced wide, wasn't it?
Forced wide, but she was also positioned back in a race that was run at a very steady tempo early on, and she was never really able to quite get in it. But she's back quite considerably in trip. I think she would be helped by softer ground here. That's not to say that she can't win, because she's a capable mare in her own right, but I think she doesn't possess anything like the same scope for further improvement as you'd expect from Nezwa. And that's, you can see she's hardening at the market at the top of the market all the time. She opened last night, I think, at odds against, and she's now into 8 to 15.
And going the other way is Maleficent Queen from 7 to 2 earlier on this morning, I noted, to 5 to 1, so she's nearly doubling in price. If there was one coming to upset either Maleficent Queen or indeed the hot favourite, Pure Art, because running for the first time this season, it was a fair old victory. 13 to 2 Pure Art and 11 to 1 Elm Grove. And the outsider of the party, Sophie P, on 20 to 1, although that has been nibbled at, to be fair, from 33 to 1, and no doubt the local supporters rooting for Mike Smith with his outsider. In the second running of the Rothesay Stakes, it's the listed race of the day, it's the feature race of the day. It's time to go back to Darren Owen for the call.
Yeah, it's like all our yesteryears, isn't it, Bruni? Those colours, pure lineup. So standing by, fillies and mares in the gate. And they're off. Elm Grove started slowly for the Tennents British Stallion Sutds EBF Rothesay Stakes, and last year's heroine Maleficent Queen goes straight into the lead in the hands of Joe Fanning and leads by 2 lengths, being followed by Elm Grove. Nezwa, the short price favourite. Yellow Jacket runs in 3rd. Pure Art is in 4th place, and Sophie P gives them start, with sit about 10 lengths off the pace-setting Maleficent Queen. Going down the far side, Maleficent Queen is the leader. That is 1/4 mile clock. The leading margin is 2 lengths. Elm Grove in 2nd place after that slowish start. A gap then of 2.5 to Nezwa running in 3rd. Another couple of lengths to Pure Art, and Sophie P and PJ McDonald is looking for a treble, the back marker. 6.5 furlongs left to gallop, and the 5 fillies and mares just well spaced out in this listed race, and it is Maleficent Queen who has the lead and leads by 2.5 to Elm Grove. The Irish challenger being followed by Nezwa, Pure Art, and Sophie P is still at the back. They're heading now towards the end of the back and approaching the final 5 furlongs of their journey, and it is Maleficent Queen, who ran in the 2 mile Cigaro Stakes last time, leads by 2 lengths. Elm Grove 2nd place. Nezwa another couple of lengths away in 3rd. Sophie P now on the move in the blue and yellow jacket, leaves Pure Art in last place. 1/2 mile left to go, and they're preparing to turn in. Maleficent Queen is the leader. 2 lengths in it. Elm Grove second place, Sophie P to the outside of Neswa, and the back marker is Pure Art. They enter the final 3 furlongs. It is Maleficent Queen. Here comes Sophie P to the outside, running a big race. No move yet from Andrea Azzini on board Neswa. Pure Art makes an effort. Elm Grove is now at the back. They have less than quarter of a mile to go. Maleficent Queen far running rail, tackled for the lead by the outsider Sophie P, and now in the clear is Neswa. Neswa is now finding her stride, and she hasn't broken into a sweat yet inside the final furlong, and he now says go on Neswa. Whoosh! Neswa goes about 2 or 3 lengths clear. A first turf success for Neswa, and another listed one. Neswa the winner, tight second, Maleficent Queen and Sophie P, then Pure Art and Elm Grove.
That was a pretty effortless performance by Neswa for Roger Varian. He's a great strike rate at the track anyway, and it's a winning ride on his very first appearance at air for Andrea Azzini, and Neswa made it look oh so easy. It's close for second between in race card order Maleficent Queen, who had made a lot of the running, and Sophie P, but just when it looked as if maybe she was being trapped in a pocket, she was pulled wide by Andrea, and in the end, it was very fluent.
Yeah, 3 from 6 at the track before today, now 4 from 7. And in the end, it's as easy as you like. I just wonder for a split second where they might just get trapped in a bit of a pocket, but Andrea obviously knew how much horse he had under him once he just has Royal Ascot and then at Ireland the following month. May well prove fully justified.
She's won really well, as I say. She's just for a stride or two. You thought, where's she going to go from where she is at this moment, as we can see the head on, but she's eased to the outside by Andrea, and she's just oozed class as she's strode clear under pretty much a hand ride, and she's stormed to victory. And Sophie P, what a massive run in second from Sophie P, and Maleficent Queen just pipped for second on the inside there. She finishes third, but you can see there, punched out to victory by Andrea Azzini, his first ever ride at air, and it's a very impressive success in this listed race for Neswa. It's with no sign of obviously any, well, the assistant trainers here, maybe we might get a word with him, we may get a word with Andrea. There will be a presentation afterwards just to hear what they think of that.
It's got a lovely action, she a very nicely moving horse there, and it was the turn of foot that was most impressive about that performance. Gordon, once angled out,
Put the race to bed
very quickly. Only need a couple of shoves from the man on board to get her to pick up speed, and she settled that race very easily. And the other 4 have actually finished
in the book.
Yeah, that was really impressive, wasn't it? Obviously, she's going to step up in class and face much better fillies with much stronger credentials than Sophie P, for all that she's ran really well. But ultimately, the manner of the victory was stylish, smooth, impressive, and you can't help but think that she's booked for big things this season. Let's see how the time stacks up. 2:08.25. It's about, well, it is 3:85 outside stand.